welcome back to the track. Now, it's been a long time since I uploaded my last slot car video, and I have not been doing nothing during the break. Yes, the first thing you'll notice is that there's no table anymore on which the track is set. And the reason for that is that I have been expanding. As you can see, the track has now been moved off the table and on to the floor. Now, why have I done this? Well, you may be able to tell. I've done it because I wanted to extend the track to its maximum capacity that I could fit given the space that I've got. And that means the track is now bigger. Now, unfortunately, I have had to make some little compensation just for now. That is, it's had to go on the carpet for a very short time. One section, the new extended section, is on the carpet. However, the benefits speak for themselves. And the first one is to the Granger straight. Now, the Granger straight was the longest straight on the track and is still almost the longest straight on the track. This straight has now been extended to over 275 centimetres long, and you can really now genuinely get that throttle right open. The other massive extension that I've done here is on the Rockingham cut. Now, the Rockingham cut was originally just a short piece of straight to just get the car accelerating for a little bit. However, now the Rockingham straight measures over 285 centimetres long. So this straight is one where you can really get this throttle wide open on the cars, and it really has made a big difference. One other big change to the track, which is quite an important one, is this chicane here. Now, this was not here before, and it does add a really interesting technical aspect to getting around this track, because when you come flying down the power straight here, you go into striker, and you really have a real technical and tough series of bends that you have to negotiate. And you can easily lose control of the car very easily if you don't take this corner section across here very, very carefully. But if you do get round there and you do take it steady, you get rewarded by being able to rip the car open all the way down the Rockingham cut, into the Disca corner, and then all the way down the Granger straight. Let's just give this track a quick try using my very first Scaelxtric car, the Lamborghini Gallardo, slightly tweaked, but let's go and see what it's like. So, as you're taking this track, the hardest part is this section here. As you come into striker corner, very easy to lose control of the car, and then into this new chicane here, where the car will fishtail really badly, especially if it's not weighted correctly. Then we go round the top, down the Rockingham cut, which is now much longer, much easier to negotiate, but you've got to be careful here when you hit the Disca corner, because you'll go into that too fast if you're not careful. Down the Granger straight, which is now the extended one. The dit slot carousel was as it always was. So no changes there, and then back to the pit lane. As regards the new chicane here, if anyone's got any suggestions for what I could call it, please drop me a line. I'm looking for some names for the chicane. So let's try out the car on the track, see how it goes. So nice and steady on that bit there, down the Rockingham, down the Granger straight. Whoa, yes, chicane, chicane, steady, 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 and then bang, we can get it open, bang, we can get it open again. So we can really get that throttle open as long as we're ready to stop at the end. See how I'm taking it nice and steady on the way, speed. Now taking it nice and steady on that chicane there, and then speed, speed. Yoo-hoo! Yeah, we really can get it open now, look. Oh! But you've got to be careful. While having this new extended layout is pretty good, it does come with a bit of a problem. And that is my league table that I created for all of my slot car collection, showing the lap times and the fastest cars, is now completely useless. And I've got to recreate that league table all over again based on the new extended track. But I won't be doing that today, because today is going to be pretty interesting. I have a guest coming round who is Gary Skipp, the creator of the digital 24-hour slot car Le Mans. And he's coming round to have a look at the track and bring round some Carrera track to try and answer one of the most common questions in the slot car world. How does the Carrera track stack up against the Scaelxtric track? Right, so Gary's here with all of this kit. So we've got here a load of Carrera track. So we're going to attempt to try and recreate the Scaelxtric track if we can, aren't we? Then we've got all this gear here, tools, etc. And what the cars we're going to try and compare. Just move the coffee. So we've got these two here then, Gary, that you brought. Scaelxtric, so they're both. So one's a Carrera.
Yeah, one Carrera, one Scaelxtric, and they're both the AMG GT3.
Right, so they're essentially the same model. Are there any sort of differences in regards to magnet traction or anything like that? Has one got magnets? Or...
They've both got magnets. Carrera have two by default. So.
Right. So this is quite exciting because I've got the new layout, which I haven't really run anything on, and some cars that I've never run on them either. So it's quite exciting, this. Here we have the two cars as they come in their box. So the Carrera, much bigger box and packaging than the Scaelxtric. Far nicer packaging, has to be said. Scaelxtric in a much smaller box, still nice though. But if we turn them around here, so there's the back of the Scaelxtric box. But if we turn around, so with the Carrera, the first thing to point out is the mirror. At the back there's like a corner mirror, so you can actually see the car at an angle without opening the box. And if we turn the box around, and this is a really nice thing that Gary pointed out, you've actually got just here, in this little corner here, you've got some spares. From a point of view of being sold on the packaging, I would buy the Carrera because it's such a beautiful thing to look at, and the packaging is definitely selling me more than the Scaelxtric.
Carrera cars used to be cheaper, a lot cheaper. They used to be 30, while Scaelxtric was 40.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, this is the point. The Scaelxtric does indeed look like it's the cheaper of the two. But the question is, what are they like on the track? Before Gary could test these cars, the first thing he needed to do was try out my track. Right, so I've got Gary testing the car that he modded actually on my track, just to sort of get used to it, using the classic Lambo Gallardo Scaelxtric edition. You can hear them, yeah.
Terrible.
Terrible, what do you mean? As in the wheel spinning?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you need a bit of wheel spin, that's what it's all about. Spin. This is great, seeing someone else who knows what they're doing drive their car, or drive my car on my own track. Right, so what do you think?
I think the tyres need some work or replacing, for sure.
Oh dear. The tyres need replacing on the Lambo, but that was actually due to be our next job anyway, because I've actually got the tyres, funnily enough, ready to go here. New tyres. To avoid any further disappointments, I decided to go round and properly clean up my new version of the track. We're testing the track with a nice clean track no bits of dirt inside the rails, so we're going to do this properly. So we've got the Carrera car and the Carrera track, and the Scaelxtric car and the Scaelxtric track, both the same model of car, and we're going to find out if there's any performance difference between running each car on each track, and see what we can find. And we're also going to see if there's any difference in the quality of the track as well when we come to set it up. We're firstly going to try each car and just run it. Just let it run it in. Is that the idea? We're going to run it in, get some first impressions of the car. So the Scaelxtric one is the first one we're going to go. Okay, off we go then. Letting Gary do the driving. He knows what he's doing with these things. I'll tell you what, it's hard keeping up.
The cars move a lot faster with the magnets in.
Now at the moment, right, very important point. We've got magnets in them. This makes a big difference, folks, big difference. I always take the magnets out, as you know, for this very reason, because at the moment I just can't keep up with the car. So that's the Scaelxtric. What do we think? What do we think then, Gary? What do we think of the Scaelxtric?
I'd pretty much give it a medium all around. It's fairly responsive on the throttle. It's the brakes are okay. The handling is pretty smooth. Obviously, the magnets ironing out any imperfections with the handling at the moment.
Right.
But it's fine. It's fine. It's a pleasurable drive. Nothing special. Nothing bad.
Right. It's just smooth. Nothing. Yeah. I must admit, I really do love this Carrera version of the AMG GT3. Look at the detail. That's amazing. Right then, so now Gary's got the Carrera version of the same car, and we're going to see how this one goes. See what he thinks of it. Okay, off you go then, Gary. Again, still got magnets. That's
two magnets in the Carrera car.
So there are two magnets in this one. Again, I'm really struggling, and it has come off.
Overcooked it.
Even though the magnets are inside, that is interesting.
I think the thing is, it encourages you to push so much harder.
Right,
because of
the magnets. I'm struggling to keep up with the speed of this thing, folks. Sorry about this if you're watching this and it's making you feel a bit queasy. That's because I can't keep up with it. Come off again. That's interesting. Are you finding that's because it's pushing you too hard? You're trying to try too hard?
Yeah, I'm just pushing the car too much.
So what do you think then? How are you finding this compared to the Scaelxtric?
It's very dull on the throttle. So it's fine once you've done a few laps and you get used to it. You just need to accelerate sooner than you would.
Yes.
And the brakes are worse as well, and that's just due to the fact that the car's heavier.
Right.
It takes longer to get
going. It is a heavier car, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. Okay.
The problems coming off the circuit, as I mentioned, the magnets encourage you to push more, but it could also be that the tyres perhaps aren't as good as the Scaelxtrics.
Right.
Or certainly on this surface, they're not as good as the Scaelxtrics.
Right.
Yeah, the offs are just caused by me getting carried away.
Yes.
You feel you've got the grip and you want to.
You want to push it harder than the other car.
Definitely.
Now, in order to make this a fair test, we have got the Carrera light bridge, and we're using this because the guide rails on the Carrera are red, and my timer can't read the car, so we're going to use Carrera's one, which is a light bridge, to time the laps. Perfect. Right, so we're now using the light bridge to test the Scaelxtric car. Gary's going to see how fast we can clock up 10 laps using the light bridge. That's good driving.
I don't know how you can not prefer this car.
I must admit, it sounds as smooth as an MSR.
This is the races.
Because I'm an amateur. Yes, correct.
There we go, we're done.
Right, okay, so we've done 10 laps. Let's go and have a look then at the Scaelxtric. So this one, the Scaelxtric AMG, did it in 10 laps, 44.32. Shall we have a look for the, I'll let you press the button, Gary, for the fastest lap time. And the fastest one was 4.32 seconds. There we go. Good lap times here, doing well. And it does go, in my view, I think it's pretty good. That seems quite quick, you know, Gary. To me, it's not that bad. Here's the final result for it. So this is the total time to do 10 laps then, Gary?
Yeah, 52.63.
52.63, okay.
Fastest is 4.63.
Yeah. Right. So 4.63, 52.63.
Yeah.
Okay, so what Gary's doing now is he's going to take the magnets out of both cars. So we're now going to see what the effect is when the magnets have been removed, which is the real test in my view, because magnets are a very varied sort of thing really. I think, you know, some, as we said earlier, the Carrera's got 2 magnets, the Scaelxtric's only got 1. So to do a real true comparison, the magnets have got to come out. So this is the inside of the Carrera car, and as we can see, there's a lot going on in there. Where are the magnets, Gary?
We've got one here and one here, which you can see from the bottom.
Oh, I see. Oh, they're tiny, aren't they? They're not as big as...
Well, there's probably 2 here that are stacked.
There's a lot going on in that compared to the Scaelxtric, the simplicity of the Scaelxtric. There are actually, what, 2 magnets in total?
On the front of the motor.
On the front. Yeah, they're the 2, look.
And then on the back there's one as well. So.
And there's one on the back as well?
Yep.
So this is it. We're going to do 10 laps with no magnets. Scaelxtric first. He's driving this extremely well, beautifully smooth. Doing well, doing well. I think he got a faster lap time there. There we go, that's it. He's done his 10 laps, bring her in. Let's have a look then and see the scores on the doors. So
3:41 for 10.
That was 1 minute 3:41, 10 lap time. Let's have a look at the fastest lap time. 5.94 seconds. So that was the Scaelxtric. Now it's time to test this Carrera. Okay then, here we go. Carrera, 10 laps, no magnets. You know?
You really do have to brake so much earlier.
So we're having to brake quicker earlier on before hitting into the corner zone.
I will say the throttle response is a little bit better now. It hasn't got the magnets holding it back.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's quite as sharp as the Scaelxtric, but it's not as bad as it was.
So what we might do is see a better result then, by taking the magnets out.
It could be closer.
Yeah. There we go. That's the timer up. 10 laps. Okay, so the car's in. Let's have a look at the numbers. This is the most important thing.
106.
So 106, so it's slower,
yeah,
but not by much.
3.5 seconds.
And let's have a look at its fastest lap time was 5.96. And what was the fastest?
Practically the same.
Practically the same. So yes, so it can achieve the speeds that the Scaelxtric can achieve, but it can't achieve them consistently. I think that's what we can deduce from that. What an absolutely fascinating test of these two cars, one from Carrera, one from Scaelxtric, both brand new, both box fresh, both straight from the factory, and absolutely fascinating. Because when you go to a shop, me personally, I would go for the Carrera simply because it looks a work of art. But then when you look at the Scaelxtric for performance, massive what's the price difference, Gary?
I've got the answer to that, John. Give me one moment.
Okay. Now look at the price difference between the two.
RRP for a 2021 car.
Yeah.
Scalextric is $42.99 and Carrera $41.99.
So they're pretty well the same price. So if you want to race, then you would use the Scaelxtric. If you just want something pretty to look at, like I do, then you want the Carrera. Coming up in next week's video, I drink a cup of tea and eat some cake, while Gary attempts to recreate my Scaelxtric track using track from Carrera. And then, having built the track, we attempt to find out the difference between driving a Scaelxtric car and a Carrera car on a Carrera track.